Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Wist. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. Let's do this. All right, cheers.
Yes, Skål, as the Swedish say.
Oh, okay.
Which means cheers, goddammit.
I like that. I didn't know that. So, this is Talahampan. How are you today? We've known each other for a long time.
We have.
It goes back.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Grade 8, you're an Ottawa boy.
Yep.
Living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Take us through your history. You do like theater in high school?
Yes.
And then what happens after high school?
Okay, so, I started doing theater in high school. I did a Shakespeare show all throughout high school where we go around in the summer and play like different venues around Ottawa and outside of Ottawa. And then once I graduated high school, I went to York University, studied theater there for a year, just outside of Toronto. But my goal was to eventually make it to New York. I had studied in LA for a summer when I was 16, and I was like, okay, well, I did LA when I was 16, and I want to see what it's like to New York.
Conquer more land.
New York. Yeah. Well, I forget what actor it was that said this, but somebody said, you hone your craft in New York and you sell out in LA.
That's
so
cool.
I mean that was my goal. I wanted to hone my craft in New York. So
Lee Strasberg.
Yes. So I got accepted into the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute.
Incredible.
I drop out of university.
Yeah.
I drop out of York.
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
and then I
go.
For
Lee Strasberg, is that you're not going downhill?
No, I mean Lee Strasberg. It's iconic.
James
Dean studied under Lee Strasberg. Marilyn Monroe studied under Lee Strasberg.
He played the great gangster Hyman Roth
in Godfather Part 2. Yeah. Like he's legendary, and his name is known.
This is the business that we chose.
Yeah.
We've chosen over. Yeah.
He's legendary.
He's the man. He's the man. There's no denying, no half stepping there.
No.
So, all right. So you were into theater, but film was always the end game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you really got to do that in Los Angeles, pretty much, right?
Yeah. There's like a good film and TV scene in New York right now, but it's very much a theater culture. And the difference between acting schools in New York and LA, when you're in acting school in New York, you do scene study with theater scenes.
Yeah.
In LA, you do scene study with movie and TV scenes.
Yeah.
So it kind of just gives you a perspective of where the style of acting is kind of focused on.
Yeah.
So like, let's say in New York, it's more theater centric, more like to the audience. Whereas like in LA, they're like, don't care about like where the audience is sitting. Like we're learning acting for the camera. The camera can move.
You don't have to project the guy in the back. Yeah, the camera
you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
you can have the most intimate scene in acting class. The audience can't hear you at all, but like you can tell, you can feel that it's legit, that the emotion is there.
Right.
So that's like the big difference between New York and LA acting.
All right, and so we were watching the Oscars at your spot last night.
And we were indeed.
Yes, we were, and it was great. Thank you so much for having me over.
Of course.
And one thing that was interesting with the best acting wins is sort of racial diversity.
Yes.
And that's something that, like, historically in LA, it's a great place, it's beautiful, it's glitz and glam, but there is like a lot of, there's historically discrimination.
Yeah.
And you're an Asian actor.
Mm-hmm.
So can you walk us through what it's like, being Asian versus like a generic white guy in this city?
Yeah.
Because that would be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny you brought up the Oscars, because I remember 2 years ago they had the hashtag Oscars so white thing that was going on.
Yeah.
And like I'm a huge advocate for diversity in film and media. And if you look at the Annenberg School of Media, or whatever they're called, they do a study each year based on how much diversity is represented in like the major films and TV.
Right.
And it actually has gone down.
Ooh, since Oscar so white?
Yeah, since then. Like, we like to showcase the diversity that does happen, and they like to put that on the forefront and be like, look, we're being diverse, but when you break it down statistically, it has gone down.
The numbers don't bear that out.
Yeah.
A couple of Oscars is just like a pat on the back.
Right.
The condescending pat.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, okay.
But that being said, there is more conversation, and people are spreading the word about needing to have diversity not only in front of the cameras but behind the cameras.
Oh,
I think it's like
gender as well, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
By diversity, I also mean like gender,
Right.
on top of racial diversity.
Uh-huh.
But when you start putting diversity behind the camera, I think as like a director or showrunner or writer,
Yeah.
I think that also paves the way for diverse stories, because you can say like, oh well, we'll put a black actor in this role, an Asian actor in this role,
Right.
but if they're all written by white writers and they're meant for like a white cast, and then you just kind of paint by number the cast, then it's like it's not an authentic story of diversity.
Right.
It's just kind of like, oh well, that character could be, but you don't really feel like their point of view, their perspective.
Yeah, I think like generic white guys like myself refer to that. They see like just getting a woman or just getting someone from this racial background as like the narrative is just gonna be this complaint story or whatever, because like all the great movies are done by these white guys, and white guys just don't know how to do it. And like like Paul Schrader got nominated last night, and he's great, and he's been snubbed. And I can go down the line. There's a lot of great white guy filmmakers and everything. But when you have different voices, it's not this like grievance story. It's not like a diatribe. Yeah. Right. It's this variety. Yeah. And that's what it should be about it. I think at the end of the day, I go to this salad bar. I go to that buffet. Like a bit of everything. It's not like variety is the spice of life. It's not going to hurt you for hearing the other point of view. Right, and I think there needs to be more opportunities for that variety, because like every once in a while, they'll give a minority or somebody who's considered under the diversity banner an opportunity to tell a story. And if it's not, let's say, successful, then it becomes just like an umbrella statement of how unsuccessful diversity would be in media. And it's like, well, that's just because it's one story out of the hundreds of stories that could be told. And the infrastructure there. Yeah, and like white guys always have like the infrastructure. Yeah, like the studio might not put as much backing behind that story. Yeah. And maybe that's also the reason why it might not be as successful. However, this year has been different, or the past few years have been different. Yeah. We had we're talking Crazy Rich Asians. Which is great. Although I haven't seen it yet. Though. It didn't get any Oscar nominations. No. But I voted for it for SAG for ensemble. Oh, cool. Right on. Yeah. People might not know this. You are a SAG member. Yes. And you voted for the SAG Awards. Yes, I Incredible. Did. Yeah. Wow. I love it. I love. How long have you been doing that for? Since 2014. Holy God! I've been a card-carrying SAG member since 2014. Do you remember the other votes you cast? I'd have to look. Can you rhyme off a couple, or I think I voted for Glenn Close. Okay. For actress. Yeah. I might have voted for Bradley Cooper for actor. Right. That might be all. I'll definitely put you on the spot. Maybe Barry for something. Okay. The HBO show. Yeah. I hear it's great. Really good. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I was told in Toronto it's very funny. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Okay. So we are. It is like the world's constantly changing. It's always in flux. Yeah. And it's we're in the States. I haven't been in the States since 2013. But I went to upstate New York. And I remember I was at the bar, I had a couple Stellas, and I was talking to the bartender, and she was on some like Ron Paul stuff, some like Infowars stuff, and I still know people who are about it, and they're very about it. Yeah. And we are in Trump's America. So, but I've noticed he's not getting a lot of love in LA. This is not like we saw MAGA hat last night. We did, but that was the first one. Yeah. I've seen more MAGA hats in Ottawa so far that I have in Los Angeles, and that's hilarious to me. It is. It makes no sense at all. Yeah. But it's a thing. So you have been here like during the Obama years and the Trump years, like, but have you noticed a change like in the places you traveled? This is a good segue to your other job. Yeah. No, absolutely. I was living in the States. I moved to the States in 2000 and
2007, I believe. So
Right.
I made it just in time
The
to
Bush
see
years.
Obama.
Oh, yeah.
To see Obama,
Right,
the
right.
end of the Bush years,
End
but
of
to
the
see
Bush years.
Obama take office,
Right.
which was like a glorious period
Right.
for America. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
in Hollywood. Like it felt there's an impetus, a momentum behind progressive story, and particularly like it helped also with diversity on screen.
Okay.
Now in the Trump years, there has been a little bit of a conservative pushback, which it's an ebb and flow of politics. Like it always happens that way, but. I don't know if
this one seems a little different though.
Yeah.
It's like the order is burning now. Like
hopefully he doesn't get a second term. But
right.
But I have noticed, and I don't know whether it's just because I'm in my conservative bubble on social media where I only see stories that are like relevant to my point of view.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of negativity and a lot of blowback to diversity and to progression, which is very disconcerting. There's a lot of talks of Roe versus Wade being overturned in the Supreme Court.
Brett Kavanaugh
is on the Supreme Court,
Jeez.
which is scary.
I think though it is important to remember, as scary as the political times are, like we can't just like this trip has really like solidified to me. We can't just boil it down to how people vote.
Yeah.
With all like the culture is like a storytelling here.
Yeah.
How we interpreted things, how we like first reformed. Like I've been like plugging this one. It's crazy how they kind of encapsulate the time we live in through the guy who wrote Taxi Driver's like eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't know. I don't think we can just boil it down to like they like burning down the order. But anyways, tell us about the tourism videos you've been doing. What's the company called again?
It is Visit the USA.
Right. Okay. Yes.
I do tourism videos to promote international tourism in states all across the country.
Right.
I've done maybe close to 100 videos or so. I couldn't tell you how many states. I couldn't count them on one hand. Or on two hands.
That's 56.
There's at least there's a whole bunch of them.
Right.
But I've been to Hawaii, Florida, Missouri, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And they're great. It's a cool program. It really is.
And because like tourism to the States has gone down since Trump.
Not just since Trump. The program started after, in 2010, the program started because there was about a 10-year decline in tourism, international tourism in the States since 9/11.
Oh.
That was what did it.
That's what started it.
That's what started the decline.
But what has stuff been since?
It has gone up. It has definitely gone up.
Tourism's gone up.
Well, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it's gone up since Visit the USA started making these videos, and it was funded partially by Congress. They raise the half the money that gets raised privately gets matched dollar by dollar by I guess immigration fees.
Yeah.
So it's not taxpayers' dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you link up with these guys?
I was recommended by a friend because she was the French-Canadian host to kind of promote French-Canadian tourism in the States. Yeah. But as a Canadian, she recommended me for their English-Canadian host.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got on.
So, I'm out here. I tried to huck it with the scripts. It didn't quite work out. But, I had some valuable lessons. It's really a hustle, and you gotta work really hard here to make it happen. There is social mobility, but it doesn't just happen. Yeah, the doors don't just open for you. Yeah, you gotta really grind, and it's a combination of going to these events, networking, and going when you're at home. Keeping a sharp sword. Yeah. So, what else would you give? What other advice would you give to other Ottawa people who are like, this guy seems to be doing okay. How do I, get a piece of this?
Oh my goodness, there can be so many things. I guess it depends what you're trying to pursue.
Right.
But in a general sense of artistic creativity, surround yourself with like-minded people. Yeah. And people who are a little bit ahead of the curve than you are. Because having that competition can inspire you to greater things, and you can also learn a lot of stuff from working with people.
Right.
Like as an actor, I learned from surrounding myself with actors who I feel are better than me by watching other actors, but also as a cinematographer and a photographer, traveling with people who know this shit better than I do.
Right.
I just pick their brain every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, what's the best shutter speed to shoot based on like your frames per second, and like I learned like simple stuff that any cinematographer who goes to school figures out.
But you're just with them, and you don't have to pay.
Just with them. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because they say the same thing about sports. You want to get better at like tennis, play with someone who's better than you, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get better by playing with someone who's not as good as you,
Absolutely.
or not in the same arena. All right, so that's cool stuff. And why don't you tell people why you got it coming up?
Okay, so I have a really cool screening coming up where we're showing our film. It's a short film called Leap, and we're screening at the Golden State Film Festival, and the venue is the legendary TCL Chinese Theater.
The best.
The best.
Best movie theater in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
I refuse to believe there's a better one.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not familiar with it, it's that iconic theater where all the
Star Wars,
everything premiered, and all the celebrities have their handprints in the cement leading up to it.
Meryl Streep and Steven Seagal above.
Yeah, you can see like Marilyn Monroe's hands and her high heels.
Yeah.
And Charlie Chaplin.
That's right. Yeah. I got excited for John Woo. When he did Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big John Woo fan.
But so the short film is screening there. I think it's like our 11th screening of this short film. And it's going to be a really fun time. It's March 28th at 4 p.m.
Yes.
And we're going to be screening amongst a couple other short films.
Yeah. And what about, web series? Can we talk about that, or is that too premature?
It's a little premature to talk about it, but
right.
like it's I'm a few episodes in. I'm writing it as like a it's called Quack.
Quack?
Yeah, because it's about a cult that worships an intergalactic duck warlord. So I don't want to go into too much because there's still like things that are shaping. But it's about this character's escape from this cult.
Good, because everyone should choose life over death.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of death cults in LA.
Absolutely.
We know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tyler Hampon, thank you so much. And before we let you go, is there like a way people can follow what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. I'm probably most active on Instagram as far as social media.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Tyler Hampong.
Okay.
Simple enough.
There it is.
If not, TylerHampong.com.
And a Facebook group or page, right?
Yeah. Tyler Hampong.
Tyler Hampon. Do it. All right. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Thank you.